We live in very confusing times because taking in latest developments, it is very difficult to even try and work out what is really going on in Kenya. Actually, the problem is that the UDA government is very busy trying to look like they're okay. Okay, that's what's happening. Very confusing. But actually, things for the UDA government are not okay. The video shot by John Allan Namu, formerly of KTN, and is African censored, has done a lot of damage. Of course, I'm talking about the video of the cop shooting tear gas into a vehicle after breaking the window on the driver's side. Indeed, it is such videos that can easily bring down a government, because the videos send a message to the whole world, a very clear message of what the Kenya police are doing to demonstrators who are protesting constitutionally. Okay, but UDA are trying to twist the constitution, so that it reads, if the government believes your protests are violent, if the government feels there's reason to stop your protest, then that government in power can stop those protests. That's how our constitution has been rewarded. Words changed by UDA. Now, on the other side of the political divide, Azimio are using everything they can use to move or push the agenda forward. Of course, those doing strategy for Azimio seem to be much more experienced. I believe that has come out very clearly so far. It is easy to see that Azimio strategists thought well ahead. They figured out possibilities, possible scenarios, and they're well ahead in this game. Now, you don't have to agree with me, but that is what is unfolding before our very eyes. Because sometimes emotions, depending on what side of the political divide you support, can cloud your judgment, can make you fail to see a lot of things. Now, the latest development, in my opinion, is yet another huge mistake by UDA. The police have announced, and this message has been sent to regional commanders countrywide, that they will no longer release information on number of deaths or injuries as a result of the protests, and neither will they release any information about officers. And of course, that means neither will they release any information about any incidences. Now, this is a very dangerous situation for a country, because it means somebody wants to do things in darkness so that you don't know what's happening. And when you're in darkness, the police can come out with their own narrative and give you their own story. Let me give you a very good example. In the 80s and 90s, we used to have police killer squads, who used to target criminals, hardened criminals, and then deal with them themselves as judge, jury, executioner, etc., prosecute everything. And the police at that time developed a narrative. The story was so predictable. You'd see them on TV almost every day. When somebody got gunned down, they would appear on TV and say, oh, we went somewhere, they fired at police officers, and my boys returned fire. And the result is this: dead criminals. In some instances, although not very many, some of those people are purported to have fired at the police were innocent and armed Kenyans. They were not even criminals. Sometimes it was mistaken identity. Sometimes it was just done to send a message to frighten criminals in a certain estate. Folks, it seems that is what we have returned to. Okay? And of course, this is very, very unconstitutional. unconstitutional. But you see, the UDA government and the strategists therein are missing a very important point. All these unconstitutional things they're doing are piling up. All these criminal acts caught on video are piling up. And guess what? One day, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not in 5 years' time, but one day they will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. And that is why it is always a good idea, whatever you do, always remember to do something that will stand the test of time. Because time has a funny way of coming back to haunt you, big time. I hope our policemen and the security apparatus remember that tomorrow when Azimio go back to the streets to protest against the government of William Samoei Ruto. Now just a quick reminder, weekly intelligence briefing special offer is coming to an end shortly. Please rush and take full advantage of our latest offer. And as I promised, WIB 104 is well on the way. In the next 1 or 2 days, it should be out. You can see details on your screens right now. I advise you to take action immediately so that you don't miss out. Because as I've said many times, where we are going, indeed where we already are, there are so many things happening in the dark. And the police want to add even others more in the dark. Until next time, this is Chris. Kumekucha. All the cards Azimio are playing are effective. What UDA is playing back is not effective all the time. In fact, it is not effective most of the time. And you can clearly tell from the body language of the UDA leaders that kimeumana. Bottom line, so far this is one-sided. Of course, it's not too late. Of course, UDA can do something at the last minute and change this thing, reverse their defeat so far. But in my opinion, that is like Manchester United being 7 goals down, and then a Man U fan shouts, "Come on, Man U, 8 quick goals." Come on, Man U, you can do it. 8 quick goals, and we have this one. That is what the situation is, from where I sit. And of course I could be wrong, but that is the way I'm reading it. Whatever you may want to say about Moi, whatever evil you think Moi did, Moi was a good man. And there's a very important lesson for Kenyans here. If such a good man as Moi ended up with the presidency and became the brutal dictator he became and did the things he did, to me it proves that the office of the President of the Republic of Kenya changes good people. It brings out the worst in people. Moi did better than many would have done under the same circumstances. He didn't kill people. He detained them instead. And so the lesson is this. Going forward, you want to choose people who have already been known not to be good people, become president of Kenya. What do you expect? And he stubbornly refused to host Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. In my view, that was a message from Moi to the Kenyans he always deeply cared about, despite everything. And we have to figure out what that lesson was, what he was trying to tell us.